sunk an enemy destroyer.
HMS Daring.
Hey team, this is Ripper. Big guy doing fantastic. Again, got a fun video with Daring, but actually the topic of today's video is, can you win the games literally in World of Warships, especially just in randoms, by just capping and focusing on the objective? And we wanted to test that theory out, and it actually kind of proves my point a lot about the nature of World of Warships, the meta, and why randoms is kind of being going the way of the dodo bird because of this kind of play style. And maybe just the meta itself and the introduction of all these types of ships and gimmicks and so forth. But as always, before we begin, like, subscribe, bell button below. Appreciate all the supporters of the channel. You see value what we're doing here today. Smash those buttons, and we can't thank you guys enough. At 4,000 subs, we're going to do another premium giveaway. All right, let's get right to it. So, Tier 10 Daring, one of my favorite destroyers. I believe a lot of people are talking about, should I get the Vampire? Which one's better than Daring? Actually, I prefer Daring better. It's got everything you've ever wanted. It's got the heals, the hydro, the quick smokes, the torpedoes. It's got great guns. I've even built for the heavy AP kind of on the guns. The Daring AP, British style AP is amazing. Quick smoke generator, torpedoes, 2 sets of racks, 10 kilometers, and so forth. Great concealment for what it needs to do. 6.0 is just right there in the middle. And that's TLDR. Daring is awesome. I would rather choose Daring. Potato Quality and Sea Lord have actually talked about this in their videos. They said, yeah, they'd rather take this over Vampire. It's just so much more utility, versatility, efficiency, effectiveness that you can really play and do in Daring. Now, topic of today's video, can you win games and just blow out matches just by literally just focusing on caps? I'm kind of trying that out. Let's take a look at it. And also I'm going to talk about, destroyer TTPs. What am I looking for? How am I playing this game? Right off the bat, Udaloy, I can definitely beat this guy in a gun battle. It's not a fair fight. Udaloy is, what, tier 9? Yeah, we're going to just romple stomp all over him. So I got my Hydra up, perma-spotting him. I could literally smoke up and just watch him drive right into me, and he can't do anything about it. Knowing your tactics and ships are amazing, is very good and effective as well. Switching to AP. AP is also great in this situation as well, but you know what? I'd just rather just burn him down, blow him up, and just not have to worry about angling, and he goes down right off the bat. Boom. What does a good destroyer player do? Takes over caps, kills destroyers, spots for the team, and does everything right there, all in one spell swoop right there. You can see we basically just won that engagement. We knew we could win. And look, I'm just going to sit here, and I'm going to fast forward because honestly, it's going to be kind of boring because you're sailing capping. You would think that the most critical component of the game would be fun, but actually it's kind of quite boring because you're not really doing much. You're not really engaging with guns. You're nothing spectacular other than you're being this ISR platform where you're going out there, surveying the battlefield, capping, taking objectives, and really maybe even screening for torpedoes, and just taking down the destroyer threat, which therefore eliminates it's just kind of a one-sided match at that point, because what did I say? If you eliminate all the destroyers, the game's pretty much done. I mean, you pretty much increase the chances of your team winning by tenfold. And they can't do what I'm trying to do here and explain the video is if you don't cap the points, the points are just ticking up. You can't really win the game necessarily other than kill the entire team, which most people don't do. It is an objective-based game where whoever reaches 1,000 points wins, right? Well, how do you get there? You just basically cap points and kill ships. Well, if your destroyers are not doing any of that, it's just a matter of time before all the points are taken and you're just waiting for the game to end. And here we go. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm killing destroyers. That's it right there. All right, look at that. Look at the mini-map now. Mini-map is now showing that majority of the caps are ours. So I'll speed up the game just to kind of, break the mundaneness out. But again, what happens to the game after this? What does the enemy team do? They can't do much, or they're choosing not to do it. And this is, again, why randoms is dying, because players are players, and they're going to play the way the game is set up. One, they're afraid to lose their ship because why not? It's pretty much king of the hill kind of game where if you basically are the last person alive and kill everybody else, that wins the games. But in order to do that, you have to stay alive, and by just default, people don't want to lose their ships. And then secondly, if you don't worry about the destroyers and the caps, you're pretty much just waiting for the game to end. And look how fun this is. This is, like I said in the game, if you read the chat, this has become World of Sailing Ships rather than World of Warships. I mean, you've got literally, how are people playing these ships? They're just sitting in the back, waiting to die, waiting for the game to end. And how fun is this? Where's the enjoyment in this for the person in the battleship or the cruiser? And I hear you guys. But how is this fun for destroyer players as well? Once the first engagement is done, it's pretty much game, set, match, and the game is pretty much this: sailing my ship around, waiting for the game to end, take the win, and boom, we're done. We didn't do much. I mean, I just did my job, and we basically are, as a good destroyer player, do your job, and you will win games. I mean, I literally had a win streak of 7 wins in a row just by doing what you saw in the background there, being an Daring, one of the best, I would say, destroyers in the game. And look, I only got 2 kills, and I didn't really do much. Look, at 13,000 damage. Look, actually, go back. 12,000, not even 13,000 damage. We're in the top two in the ranking of the team. We did literally nothing other than kill a destroyer and take the caps and just control them. That was the game. Let's take another look, an example of why my thought about this is the way it is. All right, here's another game where, again, I'm just focusing on capping points and try to see how long I can hold them and do my best here. So initial positioning, what am I doing? I'm using island cover to get myself in a correct position, being very careful not to just rush to my death. I'm just observing where is the enemy, where am I needed, and I'm not doing anything cosmic here. I'm just kind of going into the cap and seeing what I can find. And again, kind of doing this, here's one of the tactics that we do is we just, as a destroyer, reverse into a cap because it allows you to exfil the area quickly if you need, rather than just being stuck in a position, right? So right here, what am I doing? Just capping, spotting, seeing if I can find anything. Okay, we have a submarine here. And submarine goes underwater like a great submarine player does. Wow, fun and engaging, right? All right, so we cap Alpha, Bravo. They're taking Charlie. Okay, we have probably a problem at Bravo. We're going to look to see if we can cap Bravo. Again, I'm only going to use the guns in a self-defense measure if I need to. But really, if I just focus on capping, let's see how this actually plays out. So Hayate is, let's see here. He's probably just going to sit there and die. Let's see here. What's going to happen here? Oh, there are the torpedoes, and he goes down. So he's dead. So we got Alpha, Bravo cap. Charlie cap is pretty much open, and I'm just going to observe and look around and see where am I needed. This is the nature of World of Warships. Look at everybody. Look at where everybody's at. I'll slow it down so you guys can see it, but look at where the enemy team's at. They're in the back here. Somebody's a radar cruiser hiding behind an island here, way in the back. GK is somewhere over here. Zhao is back here. Wooster's finally coming out. Petrie way in the background. Guns not really able to be. Yamato also behind an island, not being able to be effective. We have the submarine probably capping here, or somebody in the middle here capping. So let's go take a look. Again, nature of all the warships here, sitting, sniping, cabbing in the back. Don't know what the objective is there, but if I play the objective, most likely I win. Ooh, Yamagiri pops up. Let's see how we're going to do here. We're going to reverse and let him drive himself. Okay, switching to AP in the Daring here. All right, here we go. Watch the AP. Look how powerful this is in the Daring. Yeah, improved AP angle, British-style AP angles, and the damage is pretty massive. Look at that. You're really just melting this guy with the AP. And he goes down. There it is. All right, destroyers are all dead here in this area. And that's the game. All Alpha and Bravo and Charlie caps taken. Now what? Wargaming. Tell me, what do you do now? I mean, how do you get the player that's sitting in the back there to improve? What are they going to learn from this? A lot of people say that, well, they won't learn from this. It's like, well, they're still not learning. I mean, I've noticed that the majority of games I've played here, where I'm just doing my basic role as a destroyer player, is, hey, I'm taking the caps. Where's everybody else? Where's the enemy? Are we going to play this game or not? Or we're just going to sit around, sail the ship around, and wait till you die? It just seems like that. It seems like we're playing some kind of bathtub kind of game where people enjoy watching the ships. I love the artwork and everything. Art department is doing great, showing off the nature of the ships. And remember, as a kid, you just wish you could have a ship that you could float in the bathtub and let it float and play and move around. That's great. And in the world of war shipping, it seems like nothing is really happening, and it just seems that people are just, sailing around. World of sailing ships. All right. Oh, man, so sad for the Shimakaze player doing his best, and he goes down. All right, that was self-defensive measure there. We had to kill him, and now we're just going to sit and smoke. There's nothing literally else to do other than wait for them to come to you and die. So let's see. Again, Daring is great, by the way, for these roles where the quick smokes literally just make you go invisible whenever you need to, be this kind of guerrilla warfare tactic, hit and run kind of style tactic, which I do enjoy. And now we're just going to melt the Oregon here and just fire HE right into his superstructure, which is he can't do much, and it's done. He's gone. Alpha Bravo and Charlie being taken again. Let's see, who can we take now? Yeah, Zal's probably going to die. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're not going to fire on the Ragnar yet. Wait till he gets a little closer because that might the angles on the AP are pretty horrendous. All right, here we go. Full broadside of a Ragnar. He has 7,000 health to our 22, so this is not a fair fight. So, but look at the AP on just melts Ragnars. Okay, so use AP on Ragnars, and he goes down. Yep, there it is. Splash 3, 32,000, and we're just going to go nose in and wait for the points to win in our favor. I mean, enemy team didn't really get any points. That's why they're at 32 right now. And we're just going to hold and go undetected. And let's see what happens here. Somebody dies and wins the game. Yep, Yamato died for no reason because he wasn't doing much, sitting in the back as well. That's the nature of World of Warships meta. So we can absolutely win. As a destroyer player, and this is great tactics, just cap the objectives, you'll win the game. You'll have a great win rates. So makes for boring gameplay, in my personal opinion. Top 4 right there. We did everything we needed to do. Yeah, let's take one look. Last video to prove my point. So overall, what do I think about the game? I think the game, I still enjoy. I actually very much enjoy this game. I still think it has a viability of being out there and people still playing it. It's free to play kind of in a sense. But the problem, what I'm just saying is, look, again, you can play co-op. Again, a lot of guys I've seen in clans and competitive play co-op, and they enjoy that more. It's just more relaxing, not crazy, and you enjoy it. You're shooting ships and engaging, right? That's what people want to do. They want to engage and fire the guns and maneuver the ship and do the things it was designed for, not sail around and have a nice, enjoyable cruise. And people like to play ranked and competitive. It's still some of that competitiveness in there, and that's great. I think that mode is that those modes are designed the way they are, and they work effectively very well. The Unbreakable line is exactly awesome. When they introduce Tier 10 into Unbreakable line, I see a decline in randoms because people are actually engaging, pushing, firing the guns, using their skills and tactics, and just maneuvering the ship around and doing the things that were designed for the game. And I think that, again, people will enjoy it rather than being so scared to sit in the back of the map. Unbreakable line actually brings out the playability of the ship because you get to come back. You get to play a video game. You're actually dying, respawning, and try again. You can't learn unless you try, make mistakes, and do it again. You can't really seem to be doing that in randoms because a lot of people are saying, well, you don't learn anything by hitting the W key. Well, it's like, actually, I think you do. The problem is nobody wants to hit the W key because they're always dying. I mean, look at this random game. I've been playing random games, and it doesn't seem like the player base is learning anything anyways. Once they die, they get frustrated, they sit in the back of the map, and they don't do much. So, again, where is the fun and engaging part of that? So again, my point exactly is that I think randoms needs to be either revamped, rehauled, changed in the sense of just, and the biggest change I think is just respawn. If you could allow respawning with 12 versus 12, I think that will solve the game. Though maybe you keep randoms and make Unbreakable line Tier 10 and exactly like the way you are doing right now, and you'll have a better game. But unfortunately right now, I think the game is just not being able to work and function as it was intended, because now look what you have here. You have literally people sitting in the back of the maps, kiting away in the back, not doing anything. If I can just win the game by literally just capping objectives as a destroyer and not even be seen sometimes, you literally can just run amok and just end the game that way. And it seems that it's not very fun and engaging on the other side of the team. And I've seen a majority of my games being won that way, just by literally just capping the objective and watching what people do, and they'll just drive to their death inside, and that's it. That's pretty much the game. And again, nobody wants to change that. No, everybody's just sitting in the back, just waiting for the points to tick away, and then waiting to go back to port and end the game. So as you can see, the background footage right here. What am I doing as a good destroyer player? I'm attacking their destroyer player. Smallin, one of the most powerful destroyers in the game. Don't want to pick a fight with him too long. He's got the radar, he's got the engine boost, and he's got good guns. And we pretty much are just going to egress the area, and then just smoke, go undetected. And again, my team is main guys right here, Golden Lou, Stalingrad, Schlieffen. They're just going to sit in this back line here. They're not really going to push, engage, or whatever as much as you would like to be. And as a destroyer player, you're like, okay, well, all I got to do is just fend for myself here. Got radared again by the Smallin, so we're not going to play around with him. Let's see what happens here. Smallin, everybody should be shooting at the destroyer, right? And a lot of people aren't even shooting too much because they're so far in the back that you can't really engage too much. I find that also very irritating. As a destroyer player, you want your friendlies, again, your big ships in the back that have the guns, you want them to help your destroyer engage. And just like the enemy team's doing here, they're firing at me because I'm the destroyer player. I'm the most, devastating component of the game. So yes, kill all the destroyers. A lot of firepower being fired at me right here. All right, so again, what we're going to do, reverse into the cap. Yep, this is the tactic and technique I told you about, the little safe, very, very conservative. Just reverse into a cap, take it. And now we have Bravo, Charlie, and Delta. Look at that. We're just focusing on the caps here. We're not doing much, not engaging much. Ragnar is open firing, open gunboating. I love Ragnar, by the way. Very great ship. All right, we're firing again. Let's see if we can kill this Smolin and take him out of the game. Firing AP as always. I'm just speeding the video up because I really didn't hit much. At these ranges, it's really difficult. See how floaty the shells are in the Daring? Yeah. Still fun, though. All right, everybody's still firing at us because we were devastating. All right, we take Bravo, Charlie, Delta. Let's see if we can cap Alpha and see how the game turns out that way. Look at the enemy team there, all running to the back of the map. Zhao, I have no idea what he's doing out here. He's probably having an enjoyable game. Schlieffen running the back. Libertad, two of the best brawling ships in the game, running to the back. Venezia is a destroyer killer, and look, there's the game for you. And I'll just speed it up and see what we're doing. Okay, Holland's probably popping up here in a minute here. All right, there he is. We engage with AP. Look at the power of the AP on the Daring, by the way. Yeah, improved AP angles on the British-style destroyers is very, very awesome. Kind of like Druid style. Yeah, Daring AP, very, very powerful. Definitely try it out when you fire. Look at that. Venezia always firing at us because they love shooting at us. We're the only ones spotted, by the way, because nobody else is spotted. All right, pop the smoke, get out of dodge, and ouch, still takes damage to us. All right, let's see here. Let's speed this up. Again, let's go to Alpha Cap as well, and there we go. Game's over. So you take Alpha, Bravo, Delta, Charlie, and the rest of the match is this. I don't know what kind of game this is at this point. It's just World of Sailing Ships. Look at the Schlieffen. Is I'm not complaining just for the enemy team. Look at my team. The Schlieffen, though, it's the best brawler sitting in the back here. Slava is still not sure. He just loves shooting long range. Yamato, again, Yamatos love playing like this. I don't get it. And now, as a destroyer player, maybe it's fun for us and you get great win rates for us, but that's why I picked destroyers, because this is all you can really do, and you are so impactful in the game that's all you're doing. So I'll speed this up. Again, so bottom line, what do I think? I think the game needs to change. Wargaming, you need to change the game to stop this. And I think you've already done it in the sense of Unbreakable Line, but you need to introduce Tier 10. You're going to have absolutely everybody just probably move over to Tier Unbreakable Line with Tier 10, because that is where the action is. If you want to have action, if you want to just have boring sitting in the back gameplay, then play randoms and mess around with carriers and sub if that's what you want. Maybe make the carriers sub. Maybe that is probably the playground for carriers and subs, where they just literally is a shooting gallery on ships and battleships and randoms. And I think that's where the game is going. If they remove Unbreakable Line, I think you're going to kill the game, because in the sense of randoms, this is what randoms is nowadays. It's so boring. It's so uneventful, where you're just sitting in the back, not doing anything, let the destroyers cap, and waiting for a clock to tick down. Again, but I do say that they're doing a great job with Unbreakable Line. You're getting a lot more fun engaging. People are trying out different things with different builds, commanders, ships, maneuverability, tactics and techniques, and it can still be fun and engaging, and you can still try out different tactics. And Unbreakable Line, hey, what happens if we flank them on this side? What happens if we move together and use our smoke radar combo in this way? What if we actually do this way and flank? As opposed to randoms where let's just sit in the back and see what happens. Let's throw something up against the wall and see what sticks. I mean, it just seems so boring and uneventful. But what are your thoughts? What do you guys think? Again, just food for thought, a great discussion to have. Can you just win the game just by capping and seeing where it goes? And is that killing the game? Because that's all you do to win, and sitting in the back doesn't seem to win the game if it's just an objective-based game. I think that's why they kind of removed standard battle in the sense as people don't play standard battle as much anymore because it's kind of like deathmatch, team deathmatch, and you just shoot to kill, and that's it. Maybe that's more of a co-op mode. Keep it that way. But anyways, hope you guys are well. If you see me out there, make sure to say hello, and Bill will be at the end of the video. And thanks again for stopping by and watching. And again, appreciate your support. Talk to you soon. Cheers.